Hi, this is Henry. Welcome to Graphics, Gears, and Wires. Priority 1, a Roddenberry Star Trek Podcast, is doing an event where we're going to highlight some medical professionals and first responders who are on the front lines of the pandemic who were inspired by Star Trek and let them tell their stories on the show. We're going to make a couple of graphics to put on Twitter, Facebook, etc. that kind of show the idea behind the campaign. So what I thought for this would be maybe some gloved medical hands like we have on screen here making the heart symbol, but I want to put the Delta shield in there to tie Star Trek together, and we want to use our hashtag Starfleet Medical. So I'm going to go ahead and do this as a speed drawing, and I'll dictate what I'm doing as I play it, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is make this a bit more symmetrical, so I'm going to find a good center point where I can rotate this picture around the pivot point of the thumbs, and that's going to make it really easy to duplicate it and flip it and make it line up very easily. So you can see here I'm drawing a box. I'm doing that because I like to work inside of power clips. I just dragged the image into the power clip and you see it trimmed it for me. Now I can manipulate the power clip box itself, and the image will only be shown where you can see it inside of that shape. So if I copy that and duplicate it and flip it, you can see that the symmetry is much, much better. I just have kind of a seam down the middle. That happens a lot in CorelDraw, even with the snap to pixels on. So I put this on a colored background, and then I am setting the background color to match the gradient of the shirt or the scrub top that the doctor is wearing. There it is. Now that we have this image isolated and symmetrical, we can play with the dimensions of it a little bit, get it to fill the space that we want. We don't want to stretch it too much or it'll look unnatural. And here's a nice Delta shield I found online. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this out by drawing an object around it. And there are some tools to automatically trace these objects in Corel, but for a simple object like this, I think I get a cleaner, better result just drawing nodes with the Bezier tool. We'll just clean that up a little bit. And then I'm going to drag it to power clip it inside, paste it to center it, and there we go. Now we have the Delta shield cut out, and we can place it right on top of our other image. Kind of screw with it a little bit to get it to have the right composition that I'm looking for. I'm a little concerned about the gray color. So we're going to adjust that and put it more in the same color space as the rest of the image. Now what I'm doing here is choosing the size of the actual image that we're going to use. There's going to be a few different aspect ratios that we're going to use when we market this. So I'm making one at 16:9 right now. And I want it to work square, and I want it to work wide also. Just playing with composition. Now here you see I was cut off just a little bit on the bottom, so I grabbed the image, duplicated it, and dragged it to make it continue past where it was. Fill in the bottom of that image. This font's a hollowed out font, so I'm going to use the Smart Fill tool to just grab the fills. You could do this with some deleting and ungrouping, and like you could break it apart using Control K and then select the inners. But this was just easier for me to just tap in there and grab them and delete the font without having to break it into a bunch of parts. What I just did was to get rid of the seam at the bottom of that and make it look a little cleaner. And that's working out nice. And we'll use the preset small glow to put a little shadow on the text to make it kick off a bit. And we'll sample the color from the darker part of the image so that the shadow blends nicely. Now let's make a square version. I want a little better blending down here where these two images overlap, where the original material wasn't quite long enough. So I want to blend it in to get rid of that seam a little better. So I keep seeing that seam at different zoom levels. Alright, and now we'll just export our images and we'll be ready to go. A smart designer would have copy-pasted the already fixed bottom of that image, but it was a very simple fix. I just did it again on the other image. And that is that. Thanks a lot for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.